Saturn is currently transiting Aries, and it's been here since February 14th, 2026, and it'll end its transit through Aries in April 2028. During Saturn's transit through Aries, we'll see corporations fall and lose power. That power will shift to the collective, where individuals within the collective will gain and recognize the personal power they have over these corporate structures. People will exit the workforce by choice, and collectively, individuals will obtain more leverage to be able to negotiate and choose who they work with, choose their working conditions, and choose how much they're compensated for. This is a time where people are going to get the courage to bet on themselves and self-reflect on the ingenuity and value that they have within them. People will self-innovate on how they can extend and deliver their value to others, leading to individual discovery and containment of their own independence and identities. This in turn will generate a new group of professionals who build and maintain their professional independence and expertise. This autonomy and newfound freedom is going to allow for more genuine, courageous, integrous, and meaningful work. Thus, there's going to be higher vibrational outputs and high spiritual value delivered. And this is going to trigger a much needed and overdue collective healing. This shift is going to be more apparent to us as Uranus enters Gemini. Well, we'll start seeing the growth of local social networks and organizations that support one another and work together. We'll begin seeing professionals who self-organize around projects, initiatives, and experiences that require a variety of expertise from various disciplines, all with the main shared goal of delivering great and meaningful work while maintaining independence, integrity, and autonomy. Corporations will be the ones knocking on doors to initiate partnerships, collaborations, and connections with individuals within these smaller networks and collectives. And again, people will have the upper hand. They'll have the power and the leverage and the connections. And they'll be asking the questions of, well, what's in this deal? And they'll be asking the questions, well, what's in this deal for me? And they'll be asking the questions, well, what's in it for me? What's in it for us? And they'll be assessing whether or not these contracts and partnerships are fair, equal, and beneficial to all parties involved. Corporations will have no choice but to revolutionize their approach to how they hire, who they hire, and how they treat and compensate their employees or independent contractors. They'll need to innovate their own business models, as well as innovate on what they produce and how they produce it. So for you, this is the best time for you to bet on yourself. The challenge for you is to identify what you bring to the table. Look at and assess your own human capital. Look at your education, your resources, your skills, your mindset, and brainstorm how you can turn that into valuable outputs. Brainstorm on how you can take all of these elements of yourself and merge them together to create something that's unique, innovative, one of a kind, and ultimately aligned with who you are. You can start by taking a look at your own natal chart. Look at your first house to understand, in general, what you came into this world to do. Look at your second house to understand your inherent value, your natural gifts and talents, and the resources that you have. Look at your third house to understand what skills you have the capacity to develop and learn and further exchange and share with others. Look to your fourth house to understand what feeds you at a core level and where you find the most comfort, stability, and safety. Look to your fifth house to understand what creations and fruits you're able to bear. And look to the house that is controlled by Aries to understand where you're able to generate and foster your independence, your leadership qualities, your power, and your unique, ingenious contributions. These are just some examples of what you can look at in your chart. Individuals as a whole are fed up and are taking their power back. Change can't come unless we all get uncomfortable. If you want a reading on how Saturn's transit through Aries will impact you specifically, book a reading with me at www.astrologystudios.com, and I'll add a link to the description.